Now, we gave you the decision whether you wanted to do the Leeds rebuild next or the 10-year in the future rebuild, and there was a little bit more votes for Leeds, so this is what we're going to do today. However, the 10-year rebuild will be coming up next week. So it's off to Yorkshire we go, and of course Leeds are on the up and coming recently. They've recently won the championship. Bielsa's fantastic. They got some really good players. It's really just a case of taking them to the next level. Let's see how they do. The club who won the league the very last time before I was born, and Manchester United went on their dominant reign. Let's go for a 5-year rebuild with Leeds United. Right, so I'm back here with Dad. Now, Dad, before on the most recent one, I did notice there's not enough likes being pressed on the video, so I want your opinion. Give a target to the audience. What do you think? A big like target for them to smash in this video.
I'm going to go for 1,313.
No pressure. 1,313. Your lucky number's 13, so there's no reason why he should not pick 1313. Let's try and smash that number. Okay, so we are here on the 22nd of June 2021. We have taken over Bielsa's job on the 1st of June. They finished in 7th place in the Premier League in the simulated season to begin with. Now, the reason why we do the simulated season is just to make sure that all the transfers kind of get rejigged, because every time we load the game, I could just sign the same players because I know the prices. Whereas if I simulate a season, loads of different things happen in the world of Football Manager. Different players can become available for different prices or be unavailable for different prices. So it makes it a little bit more fun. Let's have a look at our first season transfers. Now, we're going to get on to Dad's knowledge of Leeds, because I think we both have quite fond memories of Leeds in the past. We'll get on to that later on. Let's take a look at some of these transfers though, starting off with a Tottenham player.
I do like him
that
as
I
well.
brought in. Yeah, I'm quite a big fan of Harry Winks. As soon as I took over, I checked the transfer window straight away and see who's transfer listed. Harry Winks was available as a transfer listed player. 25 as well, only for 11.5 million.
Good price.
Barely played last season. 6 games in total for Harry Winks. So I think that's a fantastic signing to start off. And of course, we're keeping Kalvin Phillips. That's what your friend's request is, to keep Kalvin Phillips. Build the team around him.
He's a good, solid player.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing either. No. So Harry Winks as a support player in that midfield of him, I think that's quite a nice little addition to the team already. Now, one thing I did notice was that the centre-backs might need a little bit of a revamp very soon. There's quite a few aging players, and I brought in Jerome Ongwene, who is a Cameroonian player. Very good last year, also very good this year. He's a powerful, very pacey, very strong centre-back. Some good attributes to begin with. Only 23 as well, like I mentioned. 9.75 million from Salzburg in Austria. The trouble is with Leeds, of course, is their reputation is not one of the highest clubs, so attracting the players can be difficult, and especially obviously going up to Yorkshire, a lot of players want to play in London. It's kind of easier to sign players in London. When it's Yorkshire, maybe not so much. It's a little bit colder out there, especially down here in the south. Another centre-back that I brought in, Nathan Ake. Now, he was also transfer listed from Manchester City, so I was quite surprised at that. The only downside of Nathan Ake, I really do feel like, is he's only 5'11", so he's quite small compared to a lot of these big towering centre-backs in the Premier League, but he's a good ball player.
Yeah, definitely,
I think really good on the ball, and I think he might be a bit hard done by here at Manchester City. They paid £40 million for him, only played him in 13 games, didn't play that well to be fair, but they sold him for £14 million to us. So when I seen him transfer listed, it wasn't bad. Nice little pickup with that. Now they have Rafinha on the right hand side, a Brazilian, very talented winger. I needed a player like that on the other side, and I decided to go for Gabriel Veron. He comes from Palmeiras. He's only 18 years of age. He has a very good potential range. Whether we'll see that, we're not quite sure, because at this point he doesn't look too special. He doesn't look like a Premier League player, let's just say, but he has the potential to potentially be one at 18 years of age, and we managed to pick him up for £10 million. It is a bit of a risk, I really do think.
Worth taking a try though.
Exactly, I really do think that as well, and we'll see the tactic I'm going to play in a second once we have a look at the rest of the transfers. Because as a holding player, Kalvin Phillips, I felt like we needed to give him a bit of a free rein. Rather than playing him as a deep line playmaker, I prefer him like a box-to-box. We've seen him for England as a box-to-box midfielder,
he played
a busy player, and he had Declan Rice with him. This is my Declan Rice, Manuel Ugarte, and people who know the channel will know this guy very well. Very popular name at the start of this game because of how good his potential actually is and how cheap you can pick him up. Fortunately, in the winter window, he did make a sign-in to a Portuguese team, but fortunately for us, we managed to pick him up at the end of the season, £12.5 million, after playing a very good season for Famalicão. So I think that's also a very good signing indeed, and he already looks quite ready-made for the Premier League.
4 goals with him as well.
Exactly.
Not
From
bad.
centre midfield, a deep line playmaker,
Yeah.
perfect for the role. Now the final signing is one of my favourite players on Football Manager, Sebastiano Esposito. He is a striker and he's a very physical monster when he gets better in later on in his career. He's 19 years of age at Inter Milan at the start of the game. Now we've had a bit of a history in these rebuilds with Inter Milan players, so we're hoping this guy can also do the same for us. He was on loan in the first season, 6 goals in 17 games. Not a bad total at all. No. He has a bit of a big future, I think, in real life and on the game. And I'm excited to see what his career is like in real life, but I'm really excited to see what he can do for Leeds United. On the outs, we had 2 players who really went for a little bit of money. Helder Costa, £5 million to Parma, wasn't quite good enough, but the big one, Jamie Shackleton. Now Southampton, they always sell James Ward-Prowse. I did see if he would come to us, but he didn't want to. But anyway,
his loss. Yeah,
they replaced him with Jamie Shackleton, and they spent a lot of money on him. Although he's only 21 years of age, I'm sure Leeds fans would not really be happy with me selling him, but we got £28 million for him.
Yeah.
And we replaced 2 other centre mids for the exact same cost. So I think it's personally worth it, because I think the 2 players we brought in are still better than Jamie Shackleton, but maybe they would be a little bit disheartened because I don't know whether they like him that much. I'm not quite sure. So the tactic looks like this, and I haven't picked all of the positions because, again, I want the assistant manager to pick players on fitness wise and who's available rather than running them into the ground, other than a few players. Kalvin Phillips, of course. This is the man we want to base this whole rebuild around, to be honest, because he is going to carry us, hopefully, to glory. I wanted to play Gabriel Veron on the left-hand side. He isn't going to progress unless we give him game times. I think we need to give him the game times. We're playing a very attacking formation, a 4-3-3. Attacking on this right-hand side, which we're probably going to see Rafinha play, who's a very good player on this game. Ake at centre-back on the left. He is left-footed. I think he'd be perfect for this role. And then I've left the right-hand side sort of a free rein again. We've got that other centre-back we've just signed, Jerome, and we've also got a couple of really good centre-backs who are still at the club, but maybe on the end of their career. So we're giving the assistant manager a bit of a choice. Junior Firpo, a left-back who we signed in one of the most recent rebuilds. Very talented player, and I think he needs more game time because the season we simulated, he only actually played 7 games. So I want to give him more game time. I want to see how he does. And we've got the goalkeeper, Ilian Meslier, who is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, good young keeper.
I couldn't believe he was 21.
No.
I could not believe he was 21. I think he's absolutely amazing, and he's very good on this game. They signed him in the Championship. He's brought them Championship glory. I think he can do some good for us as well. He's 6'5", 17 jump and reach. Very good goalkeeper. That's the man that we want in the sticks.
Yeah.
So we actually went one better than what Bielsa did. So I'm actually quite happy with that, to be honest, because Bielsa obviously has done a fantastic job at Leeds in real life, managing to win the Championship, something that Leeds fans have been wishing that they had done for a long period of time now. He is the man who done it, and I like Bielsa. Yeah. I really do like him.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
I've heard a lot of stories about how good he is tactically, and obviously we've heard the stories of Murder Ball, which he plays with the lads, and I'm so glad he's not my manager, because I don't want to play that game where you just have to sprint all the time. But I think we've very much outdone ourselves.
You've got to look at their fitness as well underneath him as well.
Unbelievable.
The fittest team in the league by far, I think.
Easily. They've travelled the most kilometres and everything like that. It's
and
very...
you look at the Leeds players that came to England to play in the Championship. They were by far the fittest players in the England team as well.
Absolutely. So 5th place, very happy with that. We finished above the likes of Chelsea, Villa, Arsenal there, West Ham, Everton, Leicester down in 15th place. So we're finishing above these teams, which I really do feel like we've done a very good job, and only 2 points behind Tottenham. We ended the season amazingly. 5 games, 5 wins.
And we beat Tottenham as well. Look.
Every single game was a clean sheet too. So very good indeed. Other competitions though. We won the Europa Conference League.
We're winners again.
We're the first ever winners of the Europa Conference League. The 3rd trophy, which we're still not going to make any comments about yet because Tottenham's in it. So if you win, it's amazing. But if you don't win, it's one of those where you just go, nobody wants to win that anyway. Mickey Mouse.
Look what team we beat in it as well.
Valencia. So Do we want to mention that now?
It's a sore subject, isn't it, with Leeds fans, really? We got knocked out of the semi-final.
Semi-final. 2001 semi-final. I think it was Rafa Benitez's Valencia as well.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
It's actually, Valencia's a team I want to do in a future rebuild because I really do feel like they have a bit of a history there as well. So getting one back on Valencia.
It's such a shame as well because in the group stages, when they come against like the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, AC Milan, and they got through to the semi-final after playing against the likes of these teams.
Yeah.
And nothing against Valencia, and then they lose in the semi-finals to Valencia.
Yeah.
And after, it's just such a shame, really.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
Absolutely. In the Champions League. And that was the peak before the massive downhill.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. That was 2001, and in 2004, I think it was, they got relegated to the Championship, which is such a shame, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that particular day, I can remember watching it on the telly. I think it was Bolton. They were played against 4-0.
Yeah.
I can just remember the Sky TV go into the crowd, and when I say it, probably a lot of people will go, "I remember that."
I know what you'll say.
A little boy with no shirt on, Leeds written across his chest, just crying, and that just summed up, from a young age how this boy felt about his team, really, being relegated.
Yeah.
It's such a shame, really, but that's one of the things that sort of stuck in my mind, really, with Leeds going down that year. And what a lot of people probably forget as well with Leeds as well, following season, they got into the playoffs to get back into the Premier League.
Yeah.
And they lost 1-0 against Watford in the playoffs, so they nearly
got back
straight away.
Yeah, which is very hard to do.
It is,
going down the Championship, bouncing back.
That's when they started losing the players. That's when the money started taking over then.
And they had a lot of financial problems, and then they even dropped down again, didn't they? And they had a big point deduction, I think, which helped onto that.
Yeah, it was the following season after that they got relegated to League One.
Yeah, but I mean, I know I have, but I've seen them play at Home Park against Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say it's the best fan base I've ever seen at Home Park, easily, because it's a very small stadium. Don't get me wrong, but that's a big journey from Leeds down to Plymouth, and they filled that ground, and they were noisy the whole way through. It was such an atmosphere because of those Leeds away fans.
Yeah, and they're the most hated team in England, aren't they? Really, everybody dirty Leeds and all that for the reputations they've got, but they travel with their fans. Travel with them, same as
you gotta respect them.
Yeah, same as Argo. Argo always have the best away fans in their league.
Yeah,
because Argo fans had travelled, and that's what the Leeds fans did.
Very passionate, very loud.
Very passionate. Yeah, a lot of police at Argo on that day, wasn't there?
There was, yeah. Okay, the start of season 2. Now, a few of these transfers happened before the changeover in the game because they were in June, so we will have a little bit of a crossover here. But Diego Llorente, another centre back, left the club, £27 million. Rodrigo, 31 years of age, a player that Leeds actually bought from Valencia, by the way. Didn't have very good... Well, he actually played 36 games. He played up front, which I wasn't really banking on. I thought the assistant manager would play Patrick Bamford or play Esposito. He played Rodrigo instead. So Rodrigo did score a lot of the goals. Maybe that's the reason why we didn't do as well in the league. So maybe that's a positive that we can take from that. We sold him to Arsenal for £23 million. And we actually managed to bag quite a lot of money for Joe Gelhart, who is a young 20-year-old player that we've sold. Only bought for £1 million from Wigan in this current season. Sold him for £12.5 million despite never actually playing a game for us. We sold him after he had a loan deal in the Championship and he scored 16 goals. Good bit of business there to build up a little bit of transfer budget. And we have put that transfer budget to good use. Caligari, a right back who we have brought in, a very talented Brazilian 20-year-old right back, solid player, £10 million from Fluminense, a very good signing indeed, has a good potential. People love this guy. I like him too. Very similar to the right back we assigned in the previous one, Brazilian and can play in defensive midfielder, Gabriel Menino. This one, Caligari, I like just as much and he can play in exactly the same roles. He's in behind his Brazilian counterpart, Rafinha. We've got a bit of a Brazilian theme going on here. Wow. Because we have also signed Matheus Henrique. Now, I watched this guy in the Olympics most recently play, to be honest. Very talented Brazilian player. Again, he's 24 though, a little bit slightly older, still very long to go in his career. Solid deep line playmaker, a good backup, I'd say. I don't think we'll maybe be starting him, but I think he's good enough to be in this team and a squad player and play a few games for us. We signed him from the Brazilian League, Grêmio, another £10 million Brazilian player. We're just adding them, we're just building. We're basically Leeds, Brazil, it's the same thing. We're going to play like Brazil.
We're playing our away script, so everything yellow then,
yeah, we're playing like Brazil. But the final signing, Myron Boadu. Now, this guy's actually just signed for Monaco on the day that we're recording this. A fantastic young Dutch player. Everybody who plays Football Manager knows about this game if you go any far into the database because he's insanely good. very pacey, really quick, very agile, good off the ball as well. His finishing's only 14, still good enough in my opinion. Good anticipation, good composure. So now we're building up a lot of strikers. We've got Esposito, Boadu, and we've got, of course, Patrick Bamford, all to contend with. Who are we going to put up front?
You've got to score to win.
You have. Well, goals win you games, but defence wins you titles.
All right.
So Alex Ferguson told me that.
Yeah.
And that is because I'm slightly changing the tactic. So, whereas before we had this here with Gabriel Veron playing here, I've changed it ever so slightly, and we're going a little bit asymmetric. We're putting up two up top, but one slightly playing on the left-hand side as a complete forward in Esposito. I think we need to guarantee to play in games because he's our future. Patrick Bamford is fantastic, but we give Esposito a few game times, and he's just better than Bamford because his physicals are already getting good, even though he actually only played 13 games last season and only 8 starts. He still scored 5 goals for us.
Yeah.
So when I seen that, I was a bit like, that's a shame. We should be playing him.
Yeah.
So I made sure we guaranteed giving him a spot in this starting lineup. The rest of the team looks very similar to what it did beforehand. Caligari guaranteeing him playing in that right back role. Phillips moving on to the right-hand side in the box-to-box, and we're putting the Mazzala, which is kind of like a wide centre midfielder who uses the channels. He will play on the left, fill in this void here, and of course Ake and Meslier in the defence. Now, at the end of the second season, it's still good. It's still good.
Yeah,
we finished 7th, 6th. We're finishing 7th again. The only big surprise, though, is Brighton finishing in 6th place. They do have a good team.
How we finished the season.
How we finished the season did not help us. In fact, we were in 6th place until that final game. Brighton there pinching a win at the end, and we unfortunately lost 4 out of the last 5 games. We only beat Sheffield United. We lost bad games as well to Newcastle, Bournemouth. I mean, West Ham and Leicester, to be honest, are 2 winnable games as well if you consider how good we have done compared to how good they have done. West Ham actually finished in 4th place as well. I didn't see that until we've still got Chelsea finishing in 12th place. Arsenal down in 15th. A lot of this is quite surprising. Let's take a look at the other competitions though, because we did play in the Europa League. We were knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Not bad at all.
No.
FA Cup semi-final.
Oh, yeah, losing the semis.
Yeah. Defeated by Chelsea as well, and it looks like Chelsea actually won the Europa League because they are playing in the Champions League next season despite finishing in 12th place. And quarter-final, we lost to Tottenham in the Carabao Cup, who actually lost to Derby County at extra time.
Derby County?
Derby County, by the way, are in the Championship. Wayne Rooney has defeated you in the Carabao Cup final after extra time.
I don't believe that.
So, goals-wise, Myron Boadu, the youngster, the Dutch player that we signed, 23 goals this season. Not bad at all.
No, good.
He played 50 games as well. Esposito, though, in that kind of complete forward, which is kind of like the Harry Kane role, I like to think. Gets goals, gets assists. 12 assists and 17 goals. Not bad at all. Rafinha, though, 17 goals, 16 assists. Phenomenal stuff from him. The box-to-box midfielder, the guy that we're speaking about quite highly in this video, Kalvin Phillips, picking up a very good average rating, 11 assists and 2 goals. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Now, with nobody really to note on the ounce, we did sign another left-back. Noah Katzbach was our first signing. 22-year-old young German. Again, really high potential. Don't think he's quite reached it here, but he's still a very capable Premier League left-back, and I felt like we needed to give Junior Firpo a little bit of extra there. I think we released the other left-back that we had. For 22-year-old, £19 million is not bad at all. He was a starting left-back as well for Cologne in the Bundesliga, so a good signing.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
We also picked up Arsenal's Emil Smith-Rowe, who they're making quite a big deal about in this coming season. He didn't do very well for Arsenal getting released. We managed to pick him up on a compensation fee of £3 million only. A player who can play anywhere across the midfield and even up front. He's going to be a bit of a squad player. Players that we definitely need if we want to do well in both European competitions and Premier League. That might have been the problem that we have had at the end of the season, tiredness. And that goes with this man as well, Matthias Svanberg. We picked him up as well just for more backup in that midfield. Because we are playing 3 midfielders in there, we've got players like Klick, I think, who is kind of on the end of his career now. Not doing very well physically. We need to bring in more young talent. This young Swedish guy, 24 years of age, £20 million from Bologna. Never really played much for Bologna, but I think he's very capable of doing a good job in the Premier League and be a good squad player for us. The final signing was a young right back, Brazilian, of course. Kelvin, great name, 22 years of age. He doesn't look very happy about signing for us. But welcome to Yorkshire. £1.3 million, you cannot argue with that. He's just going to be a backup to Caligari, but a very good one. A lot of 12s, a lot of 13s, are very much an all-rounder.
Yeah.
So tactically then, because I'm being very mindful of that fatigue and tiredness towards the end of the season, seeing how bad we actually dropped off there, I decided not to fill any roles other than Esposito and Phillips and just see what the assistant manager makes of each game by game. So there's no holds to it. I think most of the time he will play the best players anyway. He has a very good judging player ability. He does. So he will be playing majority of the time the best player. As long as we've got Esposito and Kalvin Phillips available, those two will be the two that will be playing though. But before we take a look at the end of the season, all of you fantasy football fans, you might want to listen to this. Yes, fantasy football fans, I am back partnering up once again with Ultimate Fan. Of course, the Premier League is about to begin and they now have the new update for those Premier League teams. So if you like pack openings and if you like fantasy football, this is definitely the app for you. You can win money and let's see if I can get a good enough team to finally be decent in fantasy football. Yes, so I have the gold pack. There is options for the gold pack if you wish. Let's see. So we've got Doherty there for Tottenham. We've got James Rodriguez, Ilkay Gundogan. That's going to pick me up some points for sure. And we got another one here coming up. Let's see, Lallana, Ruben Diaz, perfect already. And Heung-min Son. I feel like I'm getting a very good team. We've got our third pack from the gold pack here. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Robertson. I mean, I am bagging points. And Yuri Tillemans, who I absolutely adore. So far, I have an incredible team. Let's see what my starting lineup looks like. So, here we go. I've got the Manchester City team. We've got Ruben Diaz and Ilkay Gundogan, Heung-min Son, Yuri Tillemans, Trincao there, but I can replace him if I wish for Riyad Mahrez and have a full gold squad. And Luke Shaw, I mean, I've got Andy Robertson, Luke Shaw, I don't know who's going to have the better season. Let me know. The link down below for Ultimate Fan. Make sure you go there. Download the app if you haven't done so already. If you already got it from the last time, go on there, get your updated team and win some money. Thank you very much once again from Fan. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. I want to get some big points this year. So we're back and once again we have a 7th place finish. Now, I don't think it's a bad finish though.
It's not.
We need progress.
We want that next step up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Brighton somehow have done it again. They managed to finish on 70 points. They do have a good team, Brighton. I've seen a few of their players pop up and they are good. Yeah. We've had a much better end of the We've had a very good end of the season though this time round. Yeah. So we've only actually lost one of the, we actually didn't lose any of the last 5. We drew to Manchester City 4-4. For the last game of the season, though, we beat your boys Tottenham 6-1. Now, Tottenham did only finish in 10th place as well. Arsenal down in 13th. Arsenal are struggling here, big time. Yeah. But the usual suspects at the top, the usual top 4 that we kind of expect there. We've got
to change it, haven't we?
With Leeds and Brighton and Leicester hot on their tails. In the other competitions, though, of course, no European football this season, but we will have it next season. The FA Cup, we lost in the 5th round to Wolves, and a quarter-final knockout by Brighton again. Yeah. They are annoying us. But this, Dad, I mean, what do you think of this? A 6-1 loss. Boadu got 2. Esposito got 2. Even Patrick Bamford come off the bench and got 1 late.
The only thing I'm going to say is because I'm manager.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and try and beat them anyway. We were so close to getting where we wanted to be in the league. I had to beat them.
The only bad performance in that whole game was Kalvin Phillips as well, 6.8. The rest of the team had a very good game. Maybe
he knew I was a Spurs. He wanted to be on my good side. He knew I was a Spurs supporter.
So goals this season actually came from our complete forward. 30 goals in 45 games with 13 assists. Very high tally indeed. Yeah. Boadu, 21 goals, 5 assists. Rafinha, yet again with the most assists this season and the highest average rating. He is absolutely phenomenal. The Brazilian, 27 years of age now, £65 million he is worth. I am struggling to keep hold of him, I will admit.
Yeah.
Season on season, we've got a lot of people coming in for him. Now, unfortunately, I did mention how I'm struggling to keep hold of him. I could not hold on to him no longer. He wouldn't sign a new deal. I think he had 2 or 3 years on the deal left.
You got to
Kicking
take
up
money,
fuss. Yeah, and unfortunately, we had like a lot of team meetings where I think Kalvin Phillips brought it to my attention in a leadership meeting that they're not happy with the way I'm treating Rafinha. So I felt like I had to let him go. Liverpool came in, and they came in for big bucks, 85 million.
Got to take it then, yeah.
Exactly, and I felt like that's a good enough amount of money to reinvest, replace him, come up with something new, and hopefully push on this Leeds team.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And I brought in this man, Dwight Mcneal, who I actually really like, to be honest, in real life and on the game.
Yeah.
21 in real life, 24 now, and I don't think he's progressed to his full potential because I don't know whether Burnley have struggled, to be honest. They did drop down into the Championship, so we did sign him for £21 million because Burnley, I don't think, come back up. So it's still a cheap price, but still it's enough to make a big investment into the team. On that left-hand side, I think he's going to be a solid player for us. Very well-rounded winger, and I like that in my players on Football Manager this year. I think the winger role is very underrated. We did steal a player back from Liverpool, though, Joe Gomez. I was very shocked to see him on the transfer list this season, and with certain things going on in my mind about the defence that we had, I thought we'd bring him in.
Yeah.
He can also play at right-back, CDM as well. Very well-rounded player, and I actually quite like him in real life. I think if it weren't for his injury, I think he would have been in that England team this year, and he could have done very good for us. £23 million we signed him for after he's barely played last couple of seasons. I'd like to think he'll be starting for us. 6'2", very good physicals. I like Joe Gomez.
Well, we're winning game. We're scoring goals in the game, so we just got to...
Yeah, we need to solidify that defence, yeah. I also signed a youngster, now 19 years of age, and I did a little bit of hunting for a right winger, and when I put in certain attributes that I wanted to see in my right winger to replace Rafinha, I noticed a name that I don't recognise, Tanguy Verkauteren, Belgium, 19 years of age, so he's a regen in the very first season, and he is absolutely fantastic, really good physical player, which of course we know physicals are the most important part of the game.
He's very quick as well.
He's very quick indeed. And we actually signed him for £38 million. So we reinvested that £85 million. We got him from Genk in Belgium. He's played 1 full season and was probably their best player.
Yeah.
Very good player
11
indeed.
goals.
11 goals, 6 assists, 7.3 average rating, and in a very difficult Belgian league, by the way. I've managed the Belgian league. It is a very hard league to manage in. And our final signing, the talisman, Bukayo Saka. I absolutely love this guy.
Yeah.
I really do. He can play anywhere, which is what I really like about him, because if we need a left back, he can play left back. If we need a right midfielder, he can play there. If we need a left midfielder, we can play Bukayo Saka. He's absolutely fantastic. 22 years of age. We've mentioned before, Arsenal, they're having a stinker.
Yeah.
They're doing terrible. Bottom half club. They're on the demise. They're fighting relegation. Bukayo Saka deserves a lot better than that, so we brought him to the club. £57 million.
Good
he looks
signing.
like...
Good young signing.
Exactly. Considering Arsenal are so low down in the table, it looks like he's been doing very well and been their main positive. So I'm happy to steal him. I'm happy to steal him. Good replacement. There was one more out, Jerome Ongwene. We did sell. Of course, we brought in Joe Gomez. So Joe Gomez kind of replaces Jerome. He did well for us. Just think Joe Gomez is slightly better. £34 million, and we only signed him for £11 million a few seasons before that. So we definitely made a big profit. He's done very well for the club. No hard feelings.
No, definitely not.
Now, before we take a look at the end of the 4th season, we've mentioned a few of how Leeds have done in the past. What about legends? We've seen it in all the rebuilds before. You've got your favourites for every single club. I'm quite intrigued to see whether you've got favourites that I like in the Leeds.
There's going to be a couple I think you haven't heard of. I'm going back a few years again now, like 70s, early 70s. Well, you've got to start with the manager for a start, Dom Redding.
I knew you were going to say him, yeah. We both love the film.
Yeah.
About Brian Clough.
Brian Clough, yeah. Dom Redding.
Exactly that. So, bleep that, Christ.
Yeah. But then starting off with players, I'm going to start off going right back to a good, well-known name, Jack Charlton.
Yeah.
773 appearances, I think, when I looked it up to see how many games he played. So you can't knock that.
Is that the highest?
Yeah, he's the Legion. Yeah, only just by 1 game, I think it is.
Really?
From Peter Lorimer, I think the next person was, if I remember rightly. Another good player. Really enjoyed watching him play. Another player I want to mention, good legend player, I think. Go back in the day, no one really wanted to play against him. Norman Bite Your Legs Hunter.
Good name.
Oh, sorry. He'd break anybody's leg, just go through anybody. What a player. Leeds through and through was all the way. Then you got the likes of Billy Bremner as well.
Oh, yeah.
Good Scottish player. Lee Bowyer.
Lee Bowyer.
Probably heard of someone like that.
Of course.
Eric Cantona.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few players who Manchester United pinched off of Leeds.
Yeah.
Very controversially, of course. You've got Eric Cantona, the last time that they won the league before it turned into the Premier League.
Yeah.
Then Man United won it after signing Eric Cantona, of course. There's a few other players.
There's a few others, and I'm going to touch on them too. There's two others that I can know of as well. Ferdinand.
Yeah, Rio.
Yeah. And Alan Smith.
Yeah.
When they sold Alan Smith, Leeds through and through.
Yeah.
That's when the fans turned against the board. That was at the time when they sold Smithy. They didn't want to sell him.
No.
But I heard something about these two players. Part of their contracts when they went to Man United, they actually put into their contracts that if they won any bonuses, the money went to Leeds.
Yeah.
Because that's how much they thought of Leeds and what they've done for them. So that's good, really.
Helped them out financially, I suppose, in a very difficult time.
I'm going to touch on the goalkeeper again, Nigel Martin. And I'm going to touch on him for a reason. He used to play his non-league football about 40 miles away from here, down in St. Blaise.
Yeah, St. Blaise.
So he's always been a person that he went to Crystal Palace, I believe. They picked him up and went from there. He was always a goalkeeper that I always watched them because obviously...
Local,
yeah. Yeah, and strikers, Mark Manduka.
Mark Viduka.
Yeah, loved him.
Yeah,
loved
very
him.
good.
They had a few other good strikers for Leeds.
Robbie Keane as
Robbie
well.
Keane.
Big fan of Robbie Keane.
Spurs boy as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I always liked him as well. But Mark Viduka was always my Spurs.
Fowler, one that I always liked. Robbie Fowler.
Yeah.
Big fan of Robbie Fowler.
Yeah, definitely. But Mark Viduka was always the one I loved him to come to Spurs, but he was Leeds. He stayed at Leeds, and the games that he played for Leeds, some of the goals he just scored.
I think when they eventually went down, he went to Middlesbrough and did very well there as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like the names of I always remember is Ian Hart and Harry Kewell on that left-hand side.
Never
very
really,
good. Yeah, cousins or something like that. Or uncle, I think.
Ian
Hart was his uncle, something like that. But yeah, those two players that I always thought of from when I was very young, obviously in the early 2000s, that were very standout players for Leeds, in my opinion.
But they've had a lot of good players coming through the histories in there. But here's one of my questions for you again.
All right, okay.
What were Leeds United called before they were called Leeds United?
I have no idea.
The Peacocks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a local pub. From what I can gather, from what I've been told, from people that I know are Leeds fans and they've been to Leeds, there's a local pub there.
Yeah.
And that's where they got the name from, was the pub, and they're called the Peacocks.
How weird.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
They were owned by a chairman who also had dealings with Huddersfield, and he tried to make the two teams into one.
Oh, to merge them?
Yes.
Oh.
But Huddersfield City Council wouldn't let them do it.
I bet Leeds are glad now.
Yeah. So they nearly merged as one team.
So at the end of the fourth season then, 5th place, we've got a little bit of progress. We're still not breaking into that top 4, unfortunately, though. We got above Chelsea, we finally got above Brighton, which is a name I did not expect to think would be overthrowing us at the end of the season. But we're still 6 points behind the top 4, Manchester United, Liverpool. Somehow Arsenal won the league. I don't know. We signed Bukayo Saka. They were finishing 13th, 17th, and somehow they went and won the league. Unbelievable, really. We did have a decent end of the season, though. We lost 2 against Southampton, Manchester City, but we beat Liverpool, Leicester, and Tottenham again.
That same season, something's going on here, isn't
it? Competitions-wise, though, we're treble winners.
Get in.
Treble winners.
FA Cup, I'll have that.
I know. I mean, the Carabao Cup, nobody really cares about this. The UEFA Conference League, we're in again. We won it. I don't know. Somehow we're treble winners, and we finished in 5th place.
Well,
easily the best season so far. We haven't done the big one,
but treble.
It's a treble. It is definitely
fans are going to be
treble.
happy with that. I'm definitely happy with that.
I am too. So we managed to defeat Real Sociedad 4-1 in the final of the UEFA Conference League. So we've won it 2 out of the 4 years so far. Amongst names of Schalke and Atletico Madrid. The FA Cup.
Who did we beat?
We beat Leicester in the
1-0.
final, who are the holders of the FA Cup. They're doing very well recently in the FA Cup there. And the Carabao Cup, we beat Southampton. Of course, another team who was around about us. Great final, 5-2. Esposito, Boadu, 10 goals, 7 goals in that competition. They are on all guns blazing.
Yeah.
And Esposito actually scored 54 goals this season in 65 games. 10 assists as well. Boadu, 40 goals this season, 65 assists. Those two are having a lot of fun playing up front together, and I'm very happy to see that. If we look at the assists, Caligari, the right back, 22 goals, 22 assists, 7.24 average rating. He has been absolutely fantastic. The new guy that we signed, the young Belgian player, great first start season.
9 goals.
9 goals, 18 assists.
Good.
Very happy with that. 16 even for Kalvin Phillips. Everybody is chipping in the goals, and it's obviously showing because we have won a treble in the 4th season.
Not bad, eh?
Not bad at all. Okay, we actually only have 2 transfers in this final season. The first one, Adama Traore, really just as a bit of a backup, to be honest, but the pace, what a guy to bring off the bench. Yeah.
What a beast.
What a guy to bring off the bench. 20 pace, 20 acceleration. One of my friends actually does the attributes for Wolves, Dave Azzopardi, and he said that because he is so fast and so strong, they have to downgrade other attributes because else he'd just be too powerful in the game. Adama Traore, welcome to the club. We managed to pick him up from Wolves for £35 million. Quite a lot of money.
I still think that's good.
I still do as well. We have made another signing though, in the name of Donyell Malen. Now we already have Boadu. Donyell Malen is a very similar player, whereas Boadu comes from AZ, Donyell Malen comes from PSV. 26-year-old. Again, a very pacey young Dutch striker. Really fast, really good attributes up front as well. His history, he's been playing for Chelsea and they kind of just haven't played him a lot. Actually, they played in 30 games, but a lot of it was off the bench. We signed for £54 million. It's big money, but we kind of got to the point now where we're having to buy squad players, and if you've got the money, what's the point in spending players which won't make an impact? Donyell Malen will make an impact.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And the tactics, we have gone to a 4-4-2.
Right.
Because we have the wingers to do so.
Yeah.
I like what we're doing up front. We're changing Esposito. We're scoring goals as well. We're changing Esposito to a striker, an advanced forward instead of a complete forward, giving him more of a free reign as well. This is basically my Fiorentina tactic with just the wingers brought back from being up there. Again, of course, we have box-to-box midfielder Kalvin Phillips. We're letting it be whoever wants to play next to him, whoever the assistant manager deems worthy, and of course Meslier in goal.
We're going to go for it this season.
We're going for it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at the end of the 5th season, we actually finished very far off the top 4 again.
That's a lot of points behind, isn't it? We weren't even in it, really.
No. Holders Arsenal, though, back down to 7th. So they had one season. I don't know what happened there. But in 5th place, 68 points. We had a good end of the season, but again...
Liverpool, Man City, Man United, we just didn't touch them, did we?
No. We could not get anywhere close to them. The signings that they made were just absolutely ridiculous. But I still think we did and made a good account of ourselves. I mean,
we're in Europe
finish,
again.
Exactly, and we've done quite well there. The last 5 games, really solid performances. We're doing very well at the end of the season again now. Competitions-wise, we were the runner-up in the Europa League. We lost to Chelsea. Unfortunately. What I did find was quite funny was Brighton also won this. So Brighton have just been amazing in this whole simulation. But, I mean, we had the most goals. Esposito, 16. Boadu with 12. Esposito, highest average rating. Caligari's there with 7 assists. It's just got beat at the final hurdle there. 3-2 by Chelsea. It's really unfortunate, to be honest. The other competitions as well. The FA Cup knocked out the 3rd round by Arsenal. Carabao Cup quarter-final by Sheffield United. I mean, the runner-up in a Community Shield, obviously, after making it in the FA Cup, which everybody wanted to do. Goals-wise, Esposito scored 48. Boadu got 36. And Donyell Malen, new signing, 16 goals in the 16 starts and 20 appearances off the bench. So we scored a lot of goals. Very entertaining
good side going forward.
Exactly. I mean, very much like the Leeds side that we've seen this year. They were always the most fun game to watch of the weekend. The most goals all the time. Good assist again from Caligari, getting 16. Bukayo Saka getting 15. A lot of players in double figures for assists. It's always a good sign, in my opinion. And the highest average rating as well, Esposito, no surprises there. I'm going to show you him because he's absolutely phenomenal. After 5 seasons, he is incredible. One of the best strikers in the world on this game, valued at £74 million. Managing to keep hold of him for the end of this season was a chore, but we managed to do it, and it paid off because he's easily been our best player. So that is the end of this simulation. Dad, what did you make it? Do you think it's a success? Or are you disappointed because we didn't quite get to the Champions League?
Yes, in a way. I'm a bit disappointed we didn't. A little bit closer to winning the league, really.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to have been. The Champions League is always going to be a really hard one, but we just didn't get into that top 4, did we? I think that's a bit of a letdown. We won the treble.
Yeah.
We've got to be happy. We won a European Cup as well.
Twice.
So I think the fans would be happy with us and the way their team played. We were entertaining.
Yeah.
That's what I think fans like the most. Entertaining, scoring goals. So I don't think we're going to get sacked.
No, absolutely not. No, I think we definitely progressed this team where they were, and we brought in some cult heroes. I think we brought in some favourites that I think the Leeds fans would absolutely adore, and I definitely think. Unfortunately, we didn't get into the top 4, but I definitely think we made a very good account of ourselves. We've won an FA Cup, we won a Carabao Cup, we've won a couple of the UEFA Conference, whatever they are.
Didn't win that one big one, did we?
We didn't get to the Champions League. We didn't win the league. Still a big success in my opinion. opinion though. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, Dad's like target 1313. Don't disappoint him. Nope. You all love Dad. You don't like me. Whenever I ask for a like target, you never do it. You like Dad. Let's see if you can get to that like target, and we'll see you on the next one for another rebuild. Bye bye.